Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Quickie with Miss B.
Why,
Thanks for
why
joining
do
us.
I
I'm glad
count?
you're
Why do
back
I
for
count
another
you
week.
down? Why do I count you down? And you're like, all right, John's
I
counting. It takes
haven't
it takes
done.
it takes 3 seconds to count down. People, so you hear this is what I do. I go 3, 2, and I point at her. Now she only hears 3 and 2, but the minute she hears 3, she decides now she's got plenty of time. It's a good time to do something. Yawn, take a drink of water. Sometimes she decides, you know what? I haven't coughed all day. Why don't I just cough for a few moments? And it's always on 3, 2, or gulp, 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 gulp. It's like, well, you pick right now. Why would you do that when I say 3, 2? I'm drinking. There you go. See, I said 3. I literally went 3, 2. She went. See, it's like, oh my god, it's some kind of a mental block. The minute I say 3, 2, that's it. She's gone.
I just had to be a smart aleck about it. That's all. Anyways, thanks for joining us for another week of Quickie with Miss B.
There you go.
Yep. So all this week we're going to talk about how should I answer that?
And trust me, you're gonna want to have a seat. I don't know if you want to put a seatbelt on or not, but if you're in the car having lunch, strap in, kiddos. This is going to be wild.
That's only because he was privy to all these questions. And by the way, before we get started, I just wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to Amy and Sherry who came up with questions last week, especially for John.
Yes, I had the opportunity to relive some horror moments of my life. So I want to thank you girls for that. Of course, they wanted me to elaborate. Was that bad, John? Yeah. Elaborate. Dish, buddy, dish.
That was it. I wanted to know more. Anyway, so today is Monday. And the first question for today is this. Where in the nursery rhyme does it say Humpty Dumpty is an egg?
Oh, yeah, that one is just it.
That one just cracks me up. I mean, think about it. How many times as a kid have you heard the nursery rhyme Humpty Dumpty?
Yeah.
Have they ever mentioned that he's an egg?
No.
It's just assumed.
Could be a really delicate piece of woodwork. So if he falls, all the king's horses and all the king's men can't put him back together. It could be anything that breaks. But yeah, you're right. Somebody just decided, you know what? That was a cool nursery rhyme. I want to make it an egg. And another question is, how stupid would you have to be an egg and not be square, be round? Rolling is something you do, and you went, you know what? I should climb up and then sit on the wall. That sounds like a great idea. Considering your death is imminent if you roll. What's the chances of you being an egg and rolling? Pretty good.
So, if he's not a hard-boiled egg, does that mean that he was scrambled when he fell off the wall?
No, he wouldn't be scrambled yet. Although I always wondered if
on the inside, though, if the shell stayed intact.
If all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put him back together again, did they then stop and have an egg buffet? Because that's a lot of eggs. You just lay. You want to waste this? It's not technically. It's not cannibalism. We eat eggs, so yeah.
You could have egg salad sandwiches, scrambled eggs.
I mean, how come nobody ever pushed the guy in a pot of boiling water and went, sorry about this, but hey, kids got to eat.
Well, that begs the question of how big actually was Humpty Dumpty? I mean, if you're having all the king's horses and all the king's men and they can't do nothing about putting them back together again, I mean, like, what size is this dude?
And after that, imagine this. You see the size of that chicken? Because if that egg had to come from a chicken, so what size would that chicken be?
When did he get his arms and legs?
That's going to be a big chicken butt.
Well, he had to have legs and arms if he was climbing the wall. Where'd those come
what's
from?
that got to? I don't know, sprouted or something like that. Who knows?
Ew. I hope after. Yeah.
Did I, for the second time in my life, just say something and someone's going to keep me saying it? I just told you this story earlier. When I told somebody one thing and she threw up right in front of me because I said it. Now you're going, oh my God. It's your topic.
He could have been born with arms and legs. Oh.
Well, he wouldn't be born. He'd be hatched.
Well, hatched.
But if he was an egg, he actually hadn't hatched yet. There's something really wrong with this egg. All right. Number one, it sprouts arms and legs. Number two, it never hatches, but yet it's alive and sitting in the one spot it should never sit, on a wall, really up high. Well, it's actually Okay, I'm with you. Where else can you go to hear riveting topics like this, people? Some of you might go to MSNBC, you might go to CBS, you go to these places, but none of them have riveting topics like this, okay? This is a riveting topic. This is things that you need to know.
Do you think the chicken was the one that decided on the name Humpty Dumpty?
Well, if something that big shot out of my butt, I probably have a pretty wild name for it, too. Imagine that. Some chicken went, oh my God! Now there's a chicken that was punching a rooster going, you did this to me! Yeah.
On that note, we need to go have some scrambled eggs. Back in a moment. Welcome back. No, just kidding.
Wow.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Quickie with Ms. B. If you missed the first half of the episode, please go back and check that out.
We're missing the second half, so yeah.
Yeah, so we had to start this over again. That's why I was being kind of funny and snarky. Anyways, today's Monday, and all this week we're talking about how should I answer that? So here's the question for today, the second question for today, which is Monday. Blech. And the question is this: can you cry underwater?
And if so, can you prove it?
Well, you always want the proof, don't you, John?
Yes. I can cry. Look, I see nothing. I don't see anything. I just see water going by. It's like water.
Well, can you imagine, though, if you could put color in your tears when you're underwater, then you could, know for sure that the person was crying.
But you have to be looking real close because that's going to dilute real quick.
Well, if they're crying really hard, no.
How hard would they have to be? If you're in the ocean and you're going to actually not dilute out, how hard are these people freaking crying involved? Now, have you ever met anybody who can cry that hard?
Ever what?
Have you ever met anybody that has that much tear? I've met one person. It was a girl too.
Yeah.
It was a girl, but my God, she could actually,
you
would actually see that rolling down stuff, and you're watching it like trickle, and you're like, wow, that's like literally somebody's got like an eyedropper just hitting in her eye.
Yeah.
Not tons, but like an eyedropper. Go drop, rolls down, drop, rolls
like a
down,
little
drop,
waterfall.
Down, yeah, it's like, oh my God, how much? Wow, what happens if you dehydrate? You could die. If you get sad while you're dehydrated, you might not make it. I've only met one.
I've actually seen people cry so hard that they forget to breathe.
I've seen that, and
that would be really bad if you're underwater.
Well, yeah, because then you forget to hold. You wouldn't. It wouldn't actually be bad if you were underwater because you want to hold your breath.
Yeah, but then after you've held your breath, you go for that big gasp of air. You better be at the surface by then.
that big gasp and the weird cry that follows it, that's kind of weird. I always hate that. They go, when they vibrate, they're just looking at you going, you don't hear anything. They're just looking at it. And all of a sudden, you're like, oh my God. I liked it better when it was quiet. Go back to the tears and no noise. Oh my Lord, please.
Well, then, yeah, think about the noise that you can make underwater. How far do you think that would travel?
Enough to bring in the sharks.
Okay,
Did you hear that? I don't know, but it sounds yummy.
but what if you're in a swimming pool? How would that affect the water in the swimming pool?
I thought you were wondering about the sharks. I was going to say there's no sharks in the swimming pool, Christy. There are no sharks. I don't know if you know this, but there are no pool sharks.
But crocodiles or alligators, they get stuck in people's pools. I've actually seen that on TV.
Okay, now if you get in the water and there's a crocodile in there, whatever happens is your fault because they're really easy to see in a clear pool. They're really easy to see. I've seen a crocodile in a pool too, but it was an alligator. But
do you think
they're not
that's going to
hard to
burn
see.
their eyes with the chlorine and everything? I mean, yeah, because that's not like the
No,
water that they're used to.
well, see, they're actually used to the roughest kind of water. It's called brackish. It's where
Water.
you got salt water and fresh water mixing together, and it's a mess, and there's mud in it, and there's all that, and all those critters. But you got to remember, they're also things attack their faces when they're killing it, so they got little lenses like that go over their eyes. But yeah, I mean, how did we get onto chlorine and a crocodile?
Because we're talking about if you
Talking
cried
to you is
underwater.
never not interesting. We could be
Because I
like,
brought up
we're
pool.
gonna talk about crying at a pool. How about crocodiles in a pool instead? Sounds better. Let's do that.
I was just making a comment. But going back to the person that if they're crying so hard and all of a sudden they let that that scream out,
Yeah.
how does that affect the whole pool? I mean, I know you're gonna take water in your lungs if you ain't topside, but
Yeah,
yikes.
but why a pool? I liked it better when we had sharks.
Well,
Why are you going into alligators in a pool? Why can't we have ocean and sharks? Alligators in the pool isn't as normal.
When I was watching TV, I saw this for these people who happened to live, I think it was in Florida, and they didn't have like a gate or anything around their pool. And the alligator?
Alligator. Yeah, Florida being alligator, yeah.
The alligator somehow decided that, this looks lovely. I'm going to go for a swim.
Well,
and he did.
Yeah, they cool off. Gets hot outside, jumps in the water, and cools off, just like everybody else does. They do the same thing. It's just that if you get in with them, they eat you.
Do you have to clean the pool after they're done? What if they peed or pooed in there?
You might see
Because
it.
we're stuck there a long time. They could be. Ew. That's bad. Oh.
Wow.
I'm not going to
Wow.
I'm not going to anybody's house to go swimming in Florida, sorry.
Oh,
You got a pool in the backyard? Yeah, I'll skip that.
Has it got a gate? No, I'm good. Why? What's wrong? Alligator poo. There's no alligator poo. Yeah, alligator pee. In your world, alligators just come by and go, oh, look, a pool. Psst. Cool. Awesome. And they boogie off. Come in, take a dump, take a whiz, and move on. Yeah, that's your world. Yep.
Well, have you seen what they look like? They're mean critters. They look mean.
Have
so
I
they
seen
probably
seen what an alligator looks like? Yeah. Did you
See,
know
so you know what I'm talking
I used to drive on a road that was famous for them being on it and people getting in crashes because they hit them. It's called Alligator Alley in Florida. I used to drive on that.
Oh,
And it's out by it crosses the state, so you have a lot of Everglade type area there, and oh wow, there's a lot of alligators out there, and just there's nothing unusual driving down the highway in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden you see something in the road, you got to stop, and there's a 6-foot, 8-foot alligator right in the road.
How do you do repairs on the road if you have alligators on there?
You watch out very carefully.
Oh, that would make me cry.
People break down. Oh yeah, but they don't. It's not like they can run. They go running across the highway to eat people that are fixing their car. No.
Well, no,
they're opportunists. Their speed.
Oh yeah, they're gonna wait till you can't move and you're bloody and gory, and then they go, ooh, free meal, and then they're gonna start making their way over to you, and you can't move, and you're all bloody and gory.
Hold on, let me ask you a question.
What the heck?
How did you get bloody and gory?
You just kind of.
I said break down. I said break down, and you're like,
No,
ooh, they're gonna wait till you're all bloody and gory. How did I get bloody and gory?
you just said a minute ago you were talking about how the people would run into them
Oh yeah, there's
and like
accidents.
have car accidents.
Yeah.
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 But
So
you're not
there you
all. You're
go.
not. They don't have devastating blood and gore accidents.
Mhm.
You don't see alligators running around climbing into the cars. The door's not open, so I climbed in through the windshield. Yeah, I got in there and I ate her. You're a little
Come on.
dramatic. Little
If they're
dramatic.
hungry enough, they're going to. If
I-
I was a starving alligator and I saw a free meal, I could pass that up.
No. They'll eat. They will eat. People have lost limbs. People lose
Mhm.
limbs. The number one things they do, they're opportunists, is the number one thing. So they're more. Like, now imagine this. I lived, and there was probably 4 or 5 in my backyard. I lived on what they call a canal. It's called a canal. It's
Yeah,
like a little. It's like a brook
yeah.
that runs
Like it's a
all.
waterway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they live in there,
Oh gosh. I would never leave my house.
and there's nothing uncommon to see them sitting in your backyard. So when you're on a canal and you're in a situation like that, they don't haul them off because they can't haul them off. They'll be running around grabbing alligators all the time. So if you live on a canal, you just understand that you do certain things smart. Number one, you don't leave your dogs out on a leash
Yeah.
because a dog can only. The alligator learns the dog can only go so far.
Mm-hmm.
So he just goes after the dog, and as he's getting the dog tries to run away. The dog can only go as far as the leash goes, and that'll be that because he can't run any further. So if you have him out in the backyard, it's better to, if you have him on the leash, be there with them, or walk them around, but don't just leave them out there because that's their favorite thing is people's little poodles. Yum yums.
Ugh. And on that note, we need to be done. I'm going to start to cry underwater.